So a little movie called Jurassic World came out about a week ago, and you might have heard of it, might have seen it, and I'm gonna talk about it. So here's my review of Jurassic World starring Chris Pratt. So this movie was really fun. I'd never checked my watch during the whole thing. It was fun to watch. It was really well done, well made. The dinosaurs looked incredible. My one gripe with this movie is that the characters were really cookie cutter stereotype. They spent all of their money and time on the dinosaurs, which turned out to be incredible, and I recognize that that's the center claim of this franchise, but in order to make it have the weight that it needs to have and the seriousness, the connection with reality, it needs to have good characters. So I didn't dislike any of the characters. They were okay, they were fun to watch, but they really relied on stereotypes. So there was like the aunt in the movie who is taking care of the kids for the time that they're in the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and she's just this stereotypical, like, I gotta focus on my work and like love and children can wait and type of woman. And she also, later on as the film progresses, kind of falls in love with Chris Pratt's character. Her opposite, like these dinosaurs are real, they have lives and feelings, and it was just that same stereotypical opposites attract, they hated each other at first type romance that you see over and over again through different genres, different movies, different TV shows. And I don't think it's something we need to see again, and I think a little bit more creativity would have made more interesting characters, and that would have been good to see. When you meet the brother, for instance, one of the two, there's always like a pair of kids in these Jurassic movies. So when you meet the brother, the older brother, he is saying goodbye to his girlfriend because he's going to be away a week at the Jurassic Park. And they do this scene that they just don't need of the brother saying goodbye to his girlfriend, and the girlfriend goes, "I love you," and the brother's like, okay, whatever. Just to set up that's the type of guy he is when that's not the type of guy he needs to be. And then over and over again in the parks, there's these girls looking at him and flirting with him and trying to get his attention. And this kid's not a bad looking kid, but he's no like god. As a teenage girl myself, that's not how teenage girls act to a guy that's only like semi-attractive. They don't stare at them and wave and try and flirt with them. Like the little brother says in the movie, like, what do you expect that to do? It's gonna do nothing. It's to kind of distance him from the little brother and to, I guess, to make it more impactful when he actually comes through for the little brother, but he kind of doesn't really. They kind of have the moment after they jump over the waterfall to get away from the dinosaur, which was one of the coolest scenes I have ever seen. I saw this movie in IMAX 3D, and I would recommend that you do too. Just the way it looked when the two kids are jumping and the dinosaurs behind him just misses the two kids. It literally scared me sitting in the theater. They have the moment of like, okay, we lived, we survived through this, but there's never that like, I'm gonna be, he says like, I'm gonna be there for you because their parents are getting divorced, which is another stereotypical like, let's give some tough situation to the little kids. There's my gripe with the older brother, who he has good moments. I don't hate him, but he didn't feel like a real character. Like, he was just kind of that like, okay, doesn't care type of teenager that people insist on putting in films and movies and stuff all the time. That doesn't really exist to the degree that movies pretend that they exist. Like, I know there was a running thread through the story that like, it's been 20 years, we've had dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are not cool enough. We need something cooler. But really, to be in the situations that this brother was in, that and not have any sort of amazement until a few very specific situations, that just seemed like they were pushing the trope too far for me. All of the storylines though that involved the dinosaurs, all of the action sequences, all of the fighting, like 12 humans with giant guns against a dinosaur. You don't really know the characters that well that were dying, but you still kind of feel for them. Watching their heartbeat stop was just really a really like grounded way to do that. I am a Merlin fan, and seeing Katie McGrath in that movie, even in just a fairly small part, I was like, oh my god, I love her. And then she died, and the way she died was incredible. It was like, she got picked up, and you'd think like, well, a ton of people have been getting picked up, she's gonna be fine, you think she's gonna get dropped by the pterodactyl or whatever grabbed her, and then she gets dropped in the water, and you go like, oh, well, at least she's in the water, and then a giant dinosaur comes up and kills her, and she's just dead. And it was like the most complicated death in the movie, because it was very like multi-part, but it really had my attention, especially because I love that actress. I was sad to see her go in the movie, but it was fun to see her while she was there. She was also just like a stereotype, like the aunt needs someone to take care of the kids, so she puts her British secretary in charge. That's my only complaint about the movie. I think the characters are just kind of lazily written, and they rely on stereotypes. The movie is super enjoyable. The scary moments are scary. It hits hard. There's a lot of very violent deaths that are done with the super scary dinosaurs, and it's done well. I think it definitely holds up as a fourth part to this trilogy that's already been made. Definitely, for me, as enjoyable as the first one. I'm biased towards these actors. I love Chris Pratt, I love Katie McGrath. The two kids were great. The little boy, an amazing actor. Really good comic timing. One of the best child actors I've seen in a really long time. All of his physical comedy, just little like reaching out to people, just short little lines he had, were really well done by him. I hope he's in more stuff. I always feel like there's a shortage of child actors. There's a lot of bad child actors, and he did a particularly good job. So the comedic moments really hit, the scary moments really hit. This movie overall was a good movie. It's just the characters that are kind of weak. There were a lot of cute like personality quirks, like the kid with the numbers. The little brother has this thing about numbers, and that was cute and adorable and endearing and different. Chris Pratt did a phenomenal job. The woman that played the aunt was really good too. I'm not familiar with her. I know she was in Spider-Man 3 or something, which I'm sure she was good in that. Everyone was really good in their roles. The dinosaurs were really good in their roles. I feel like everyone has probably seen Jurassic World by now because it's doing incredibly well in the box office, but if you haven't, I would definitely recommend you go see it. I would definitely recommend you see it in theaters, because the experience of watching these things in IMAX 3D or even just in 3D is going to be so different than watching it on your TV or your computer at home. And if you can spare the money, I think it is worth it. Go see it for the spectacle, go see it for the dinosaurs, go see it because it's Jurassic World. It's Jurassic Park 4, man. I mean, like, that's a huge franchise, it's a huge cultural landmark, but don't see it for the characters. It's a good movie. It's definitely a good movie. I just wish it had good characters. I'm Kelly. This was my review of Jurassic World, which came out June 12th, I want to say. Thanks for watching this. The next thing I want to review is the third season of Orphan Black. I love this series. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in a couple days. Bye!